chasing the rabbit so you don't have to. Prepper Guy and Big D have joined forces to dig into the issues. Here they are, the two Krazy Guys.
And hello, welcome back to another episode of the Two Krazy Guys. And we'd like to thank you for listening. All you people up there listening to us on KYAH 540 AM. This is Big D, and on the other side I have Mark Boyle, a.k.a. Prepper Guy. How you doing today, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself? Other than
well,
working.
Hey, man, you know how it is. It's been a crazy week. There's been a lot going on.
There has. I don't even know how to narrow it down to what to talk about. We got Krazy AOC or whatever her name is, and then Trump is in North Korea, in Vietnam.
No, he's home now because he got up and walked away from the table.
Did he really?
Yeah, so here's the deal. Apparently, Kim Jong-un said that they wanted us to remove all the sanctions, and they were only willing to give up, a few items of their nuke plan. And Trump was like, "Nope, that ain't happening." And he got up and walked away from the table.
I thought they had a bromance going on, but I guess Trump's not going to put up with crap from anybody.
No, and the funny thing is, here's the thing, and this is what gets me, is the mainstream media is keeping pretty quiet about it because they can't say that Trump lost because he didn't lose. He actually just said, "To hell with this, I'm not dealing with this," and got up and said, "Screw it. I'm going home."
Yeah. Did they finally come to an agreement at least to end the 67-year war, which is not really a war other than on paper?
Nothing was signed. Nothing was done. And, from what I understand, North Korea is trying to embrace Trump, and Trump's like, "Nope, I'm not playing that game." And I'm going to tell you right now, man, that little guy better be real careful what he's doing.
Right.
You got to be real careful. One of the reasons we haven't really gone in there yet is because he's got all those rockets right there on the border.
Right.
And Seoul is right there. And so the minute we do anything, or he gets word that we're doing anything, he's going to launch all those missiles into Seoul and literally kill thousands of people.
Yeah, if not more.
So we've been respectable of that. But let me tell you, all Trump has to do, if he wanted to, is send in SEAL Team 6, and nobody will even know they were there until after the fact. So,
right. Well, and I really don't know what I would like from an outcome of it. I mean, he's crazy, but he's been crazy since he was born, and his father was crazy. And I don't begrudge a country having nuclear weapons any more than I care that my neighbor has a gun for protection. They've never used them. It's just the saber rattling, which I guess technically, since we are at war with North Korea, on paper, then they would have a right to say, well, we got some nukes too. But if they're not using them, it's no different than Israel or Pakistan having nukes or anybody else.
Right.
It's nice to know they're in our back pocket, but it seems like as long as we're not a threat to them or we don't push them into a corner, it would have to be a first strike on their part to really warrant going in there and just taking them out. I mean, do I feel sorry for his people? Sure. But that's none of my business any more than Nicaragua's my business, or Venezuela.
Exactly.
They're a failed democratic society that's collapsed, and leave them over there to collapse.
Well, the only problem, that I have with somebody like Kim Jong-un having nukes is that the guy is very mentally unstable. And, here's the deal. He has absolutely nothing to lose. The guy is at the bottom of the rock pile now. Right. And so he has nowhere else to go. And I don't think that he really understands the ramifications of releasing a nuclear bomb, unlike Israel, on the other hand. They know the ramifications, and they have a lot to lose.
Right.
So, first of all, I agree with what you're saying in that we have to be careful that we're not world police and say, hey, you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't do this. And here we are doing exactly what we're telling them they can't do, being hypocritical.
Right.
And so I get that and I understand that. But on the other hand, we gotta look at who this guy is and what his background is. This guy, he has already proven that he doesn't care about humanity whatsoever. Just look at how he treats his people. So
Right.
we let him get a nuke, and then next thing you know, he's out launching these nuclear missiles at Japan and China and whoever. Not that I think he would do that to China because they're allies, but you don't know. With a guy like that, once he gets a nuke, man, he becomes unstoppable.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I wonder if he's any more unstable than the mullahs in Iran, they've got nukes, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
actually, a lot of people out there in the crazy world have nukes.
Yeah.
Even Russia had them for years, but they understood the concept of mutually assured destruction more than a terrorist group or maybe even Kim Jong Un
Right.
or whatever his silly name is. So I kind of get torn on that. It's like, well, is it really our business unless they invade our sandbox? Then
Mhm.
yeah, we can protect it. I'm pretty sure they have, warheads in their satellites anyway.
Sure.
So if they wanted to hit us with the first strike, they would just EMP us and we wouldn't even see it coming. And for all the naysayers that go, well, they can't survive reentry, a nuke doesn't have to re-enter to create an EMP. Actually,
Right.
if it was detonated in their satellite at the same altitude, it would do the same damage, because they
Yeah.
need to be a couple hundred miles up in the air to really flip the switch. So I, I thought it was, it'd be great for the people if we could bring them out of the dark ages like we had
Absolutely.
Vietnam and all that. But I guess he doesn't want to release any authority and power to maybe let his people start thinking.
Well, see, here's the other thing. They're trained over there from the time that they're born that, he's God. He's their God. He's God to them, and they don't know any better. And they're not allowed to know what's going on in the outside world. They're fed basically, guess what's happening? It's the same thing that's happening here. The media is feeding you what they want you to digest,
Right.
and whether it's true or not. I mean, look at this Michael Cohen guy. Okay, so the Democrats are like little school children in romper room, jumping up and down for joy that they got this guy Cohen, who is telling everything there is to tell about Donald Trump. But the funny thing is, the guy is a convicted liar, and he's going to jail for lying to Congress.
Yeah.
He's going to serve jail time for lying to Congress, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe his testimony.
Right. That would be like, one prisoner testifying against another one or against you as a citizen without a record. And they go, well, we got it on good authority from a convicted felon. It's like, so what?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
then the other thing that I find funny is that he yesterday, yeah, Trump colluded with the Russians and all, but stopped short because he has no proof. He says, I don't have any proof of it. It's all speculation.
All these stories coming out of the media are like Publishers Clearinghouse. You get that thing in the mail. It says you have won $50 million a day for life.
Yeah,
If you have the right numbers, but
yeah,
they present the news like Trump has, killed babies and put them on pikes and all that. If this is true, but
right.
they lead with the dirt, which isn't even dirt. And
Yeah,
they build up this scenario and the pretext of it, and then they kind of ignore the whole. Yeah, if it's true, it's like Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth. It was like all this stuff will happen, but it's all hinged on if this happens, which it
yeah,
hasn't happened. So it's aggravating when you watch the news and you're like, oh my God, did you hear what, Cohen said about Trump? It's like, no, I wasn't even paying attention to a lying piece of garbage, that's going to prison,
Yeah.
and has no, why would I waste time? I almost get mad that I pay for cable just to listen to this crap sometimes.
Yeah, well, and it's state-run media. And so, that's the same thing the North Koreans are dealing with. The propaganda that Kim Jong-un wants them to know.
Right.
And to them, all those old worn out fighter jets and those rusted diesel class submarines that, probably will sink themselves anyway, that's all state of the art firepower as far as the North Koreans are concerned, because they don't know any better.
Well, wasn't it like his father was a psycho too? And he, I think he came to America one time, his father, and I can't remember, was it with Bush or one, senior? And I guess he had told the people that he had played 18 holes of golf and got a hole in one every shot. and the people were like, "Oh my God, you're the best golfer in the world." And then he could sing better than Elvis, and that's what they're told, and you might as well believe it, or you're going to end up losing body parts, probably your head, So yeah, it's funny, and the mullahs do that in these really heavy duty Muslim countries, to where if people can't read, and women don't know how to read, and children don't know how to read, then when you come across something and you go, well, how do I look at this about America? You have to go to the mullah, and he tells you black is white, and the sun rises in the west, and that's your reality. Because you can't look it up. Because even if you could, even if a book fell out of the sky, they don't know how to read.
No.
So
exactly.
Well,
and see, that's where we're going here. That's exactly where we're going here. People, you and I've talked about this, Mark, but my North Korea theory. I mean, people think that I'm loon bags because I say that, we can get to North Korea, and they no, we'll never get there. Well, look at what they're doing in the schools. I saw a thing the other day. Right. They're thinking, I think North Carolina is thinking about lowering the failing grade to 37%.
Wow.
Really, man? This is what I'm talking about. They're dumbing down America, and Americans don't even stink and know it.
Right. And most people, if you haven't really, paid attention, I mean, most things that are on blogs and books and stories and magazines are written at maybe an 8th grade level. And that was years ago. It's probably down to 7th grade or 6th. Yeah. I mean, they can't even read in high school anymore. So, you don't see this incrementalism, but eventually you do, like you said, you wake up and all of a sudden you're in North Korea.
Then they replace the Constitution with the Green New Deal, and the next thing you know, your Bill of Rights is gone. Our Bill of Rights currently that we have now, the government cannot do unto you, will be replaced with the government will do all of this stuff unto you.
Yeah, we'll do it for you, and you don't have the right no longer to defend yourself or to think for yourself or do any of these things. And yeah, I totally agree. And we'll have to talk about this a little bit, because I was listening to Tucker Carlson the other day, and I've told you I think he's one of the smartest lights or brightest lights in the bulb. But
I like Tucker.
He's always trying to defend democracy, and he was trying to say how democracy and Venezuela didn't work, and yet he's trying to put a spin on it. Hey, this is really weird. I'm actually hearing the producer in my ears today, so it looks like we're going to have to wrap it up, and we'll get right back in just a minute.
Right on.
Let's talk about tea. Not just any tea, getthetea.com. They have all kinds of cool stuff. They have cleansing teas, they have stuff for eye health, stuff from the sea, immune support, stamina and energy, food and protein, and just all kinds of cool stuff. Log on to the website at www.getthetea.com. Log on now.